Carter Woodson devoted drive, quoted lines on how blacks were being told they weren't bona fide to be added to history with other noted guys. He mobilized the week within Fred Douglass' birthday to coincide with what was known inside of his noble pride, that blacks needed their own significant, poignant vibe. February just so happened to be that focused time. We complain and say our history's every day. I agree. Even when I see decay on display in petty ways, clearly Wayne's descendant via the Carter 3 will co-sign Carter G, the founder and the father of the 28-day modern glee. Who would have possibly advocated for our plea hourly? I doubt if we'd come together and collectively create a proper peace. So let's enjoy in honor of Mr. Woodson. R.I.P. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
You are now part of a social experiment.
See now where my limit is. Only got no ohs.
Welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us today on the journey towards self-mastery. Today we have a returning guest. He's a Grandmaster, Grammy Award winning hip hop artist with over 13 albums and mixtapes, including his Black History with FactZ project. Not only is he rhyming about Black history, but he's making Black history himself as the founder of the first ever hip hop school called Pendulum Ink, where he aims to sharpen new artists' lyrical skills through a hip hop curriculum, legendary artists as teachers, and different opportunities to showcase their skills. Let's welcome today, Mr. Mickey FactZ to the program.
It's Mickey. What up? What up? What up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm here. I'm in the building.
Yes, sir. We were just talking about the inspiration behind, the work that you're doing with Pendulum Ink and, pretty much caretaking hip hop right now. Cause, some say right now, hip hop is on life support right now, man. I don't know how you feel about that, but
If you're looking for a specific style of hip hop and you're not getting it because you see something else, then yes, you theoretically hip hop is on its last legs. But if you're in it to find the beauty in it, then no, it's not on life.
I got you. That makes sense. I definitely want to dive into your Black History with FactZ project. But before we get into that, you've been creating your own Black history, like we mentioned for the intro with Pendulum Ink. Last year when we spoke, you had your first graduation. So, a lot has happened since. So would you mind updating us on, some of the things happening in Pendulum right now and what some of the plans are? What's going on with Pendulum?
Yeah, I mean, we had our graduation last year in February. When did we speak? We spoke when? January last year?
I think January.
Is this the annual thing?
Yo, hey, you said it. You said it.
Last year we had the graduation and went smooth. We released the app later in the year around October, November. We released our textbook literally in the summertime, I believe in June. Pendulum Ink textbook in full color, all financed by, myself and Pendulum Ink. We had incredible MCs pull up to teach: Ransom, Absol, King Los, Blue, Rod Digger, Shauna, Pete Rock, Jazz the Rapper, Big Daddy Kane, Bun B. We got Benny the Butcher pulling up this week. Our graduation is next month. Our second annual graduation is next month. We're going to start getting these students, either teaching here at Pendulum in their neighborhood surrounding cities, or we're going to get them starting to place with other MCs that are out there, and on top tier production, so that we can kind of have some success stories with a lot of our students after they graduate. We feel like it is important to showcase them in that light. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know you guys wanted to do a brick and mortar in the Bronx. Any updates with that one?
Yeah, 2028 is, God willing, what we're looking at. It takes time to get the right people involved, get the right capital to be raised, the right investors, the right councilman to take the project on. So the goal is by 2028 to have an actual building.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm definitely going to be up there, man. I'm definitely going to be up there.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait for that one. All right. So I was watching NPR the other day, and Scarface was on there killing it. And it made me think about, are there any newer age artists that are gonna stand the test of time and be legendary? Personally, I can't think of any, but we have, old school artists that you hear their music again and you might get that nostalgia, but like, newer school cats, the young kids will still be feeling it. It's still a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that there's anything like that right now? Let's say in the last 5 years with any artists that you think are going to stand the test of time or any songs?
Yeah. I mean, I think Future, Mask Off, because it was right before the pandemic. I think that's going to hit very hard still for a lot of people. I think Kendrick, Be All Right, is one of those records that will stand the test of time.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I do think Big Sean, I Don't F With You. I think that's something, that's like it's like a catchphrase in regular people's lives. So I believe that is something that we're going to always latch on to and hold on to. I think Drake, obviously Drake got a couple of them. I think YOLO, the record that he got with Wayne, I think that's going to stand the test of time. I do. I mean, I feel like, I know we consume music a little bit differently, but any record that kind of hit the charts and made a really big splash from a, social and cultural standpoint, I think is going to stand the test of time. And those records are just some, there's others, that will definitely continue to hit hard as well.
Got you. I mean, I definitely agree with Kendrick, B.I. That was like the protest anthem right there. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, what's interesting is, somebody said something to me that was very poignant about that record. Some conscious artists, they make protest songs, stuff that you can call and repeat. Kendrick, I don't believe he made that record as a protest song. I think he was just making a great song, and it just so happened to resonate with a lot of people. We gonna be all right. Like that's powerful. Like that is really powerful. Like do it all. We're gonna be all right is really heavy.
I agree. Definitely. So we spoke in the beginning about, hip hop kind of people saying that it's fallen off. It's not on the billboards as much as it used to be. Do you think like it's something that artists are not doing right, right now in the industry? Is there something going wrong? Like, it's even harder for artists to make money. They talk about like, you got to have, millions and millions of views just to make a few quarters on Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Like, so do you think things have just changed like business wise with hip hop and hip hop just has not adapted, or is it specific things that the industry and artists are not really doing to keep everything propelling forward?
I think that, we've gotten to a space where people are not really exercising their creativity to make money in different places. I think that, yes, the streaming situation is it's a very touchy subject for a lot of people, whether they're artists or record labels that are helping fund it or the actual streaming companies. It is a very, very touchy subject. But I think the people that are intuitive as artists can sell direct to their customers, their fan base. So if you got 100,000 streams, maybe you only need 1,000 straight diehard fans that will purchase whatever it is that you put out constantly and consistently. And that's all you need. From there, license your music out to different places to get on movies and television shows. You got to network. You got to do features. You got to do speaking engagements, consulting, merchandise, whatever it takes. And I feel like, MCs just want to make the music and reap the benefits of it, which you should. Like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but the space that we're in right now, that is not possible for a lot of artists. So you have to be creative in ways to expand your streams of income so that you can sustain a living.
Indeed. I think you're like a master at that. So
Absolutely.
said from the best.
Yes.
So it is, 50 years of hip hop, and people are taking, a critical look at hip hop, where it's been, where it's going kind of thing. And you have some activists, in the Black community that's saying like, hip hop started off good. It was a good thing for the Black community, and it was uplifting. It was talking about our struggles and what was going on, and the activists were heard and a lot of things, and then it just dwindled down to just being something toxic to the community, toxic to the kids, toxic to our girls, toxic to the boys. Where do you fall in line with, the state of hip hop and what it has meant to Black people? Do you think that it has hurt us more than it's helped us, or it's been more of a positive than a negative?
Hip hop saved my life, so I'm always going to be biased. I think that there's a positive and a negative side to everything and anything. And for me, I think hip hop has saved a lot of people's lives. Everybody's not artists that come out from the hip hop space. We've created a lot of great businessmen that have come out of hip hop, created a lot of artists from a painting and drawing standpoint that have come out of hip hop. Breakdancing will be in the Olympics this summer. That's straight out of hip hop. People focusing on the negative. It's like there's always the spotlight from the Black community focusing on the negative and not the positives and things that we've done. Like, I have a school. Like, I feel like people seem to forget that 60 years ago, we were trying to get out of segregation. Literally 60 years ago. It's not a long time ago. That means our grandparents experienced that. They experienced segregation. So, like, we're babies out of segregation. So we're still trying to figure things out. It's not easy to figure things out. Yes, there's going to be some rough patches. It seems like our rough patches continuously and constantly get pushed to the forefront of all social media. Every community has gangs. Every community has poverty. Every community has crime. Every community has social injustices. It just seems to be that in our community, maybe because we're paying attention to our community, we like to shine light on a lot of the negative aspects. And hip hop has, birthed some negative aspects, but a lot of beauty has come out of hip hop, and I feel like we need to praise the beautiful things a little bit more,
I agree. Definitely agree with that. And it's so funny you mentioned, segregation was 60 years ago. We've been talking, throughout the month, Black History Month, to people that have lived through segregation and, their experiences as, children and things like that. So we have so many people in this country that still remember those experiences. And, it's really something to think about. One of the other things that I noticed is that, you just got back into like battle rap again. You had a little battle a few weeks ago. And I noticed that the industry kind of has changed a little bit with battle rap. There were no one was in the crowd. It was just you and the artist that you were rapping against. And, it had a really different vibe and a different feel. Like, where do you think that whole industry is going? Because, I remember, the early stages of battle rap when it was like a crowd of like thousands of people, like, everybody had a team on their side and, it was just different, man. So what was the idea behind that? And where do you see battle rap going?
I mean, I think it was just a concept, like a one-off concept kind of thing that the league wanted to do. I still believe that there are events that happen in the way that you remember it. I just think that particular event was more so me and him in a small circle. I think that the community of battle rap is going to be moving in a space where, more events are going to happen, more people making more money, and great lyricism is going to be happening. That's really all I can really say about it. I did it. It might have been my last one. We'll see. But, I enjoyed it, when I did.
Got you. All right. So I definitely want to get into your Black History project. But before we get into that, this is Black History Month. I wanted to ask about, your own experiences growing up in Black History Month, like what some of the memorable things were. Like, did you grow up in schools that was actually doing things for the, celebrate Black History Month, or it wasn't talked about? Like, what was your experience with Black History Month growing up?
Black History Month for a lot of us, I'm 41. So a lot of us, we were just taught Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. There wasn't no Malcolm X being taught in school. Nelson Mandela was locked up. So apartheid was kind of being taught a little bit. But aside, maybe George Washington Carver, because he was an inventor maybe Harriet Tubman because of what she had done. But in essence, that a lot of it was, glazed over. I took it upon myself to start doing some, daily freestyle with the facts, mostly because, my church at the time, they wanted us to talk about different Black people in terms of their greatness. So I had always been a strong advocate for our history. So, I just decided, to do one, for Black History Month. The first year was 2022. I would do it every day. I would write a rhyme, recite it, and then edit it. You know what I'm saying? And then it went really well. I did it last year, but I didn't complete it. You know what I'm saying? I got up to like maybe day 21 to day 22. I stopped at Tom Shepard. That was fire though. And it was the first one I did over a beat too. And it was hard. It was hard. And
I love the Black History Facts, man. I think we talked about that from last episode, man. And I think it's a lane that maybe you're not even thinking about is a lane, but it's a lane, man. Like right this year, in my school, I just had the idea of like, yo, I know you started off like this too. Like, yo, let's play Mickey FactZ, Black History Facts on the loudspeaker for all the kids. So we experimenting with that right now and, seeing what the impact is going to be. But imagine if you had that every single year and you just, posted it out to schools and, it would create a whole new thing, like create curriculum, everything. Like, so, I'm thinking ahead of it with this Black History Facts thing, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I will say this. It's a lot to do, because, it would take me maybe a half an hour to write not even a half an hour, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes max to write the rhyme. Then I have to find the images. Then I have to write the rhyme. Then I have to edit the rhyme. And then I have to record it. Then I have to edit the images and then post it. I think 3 of them went viral last year. I think the Marcus Garvey one hit really hard. Tyler Perry, that one hit really hard. And there was another one. I mean, Leon posted the Tom Shepard one. And when he posted that, I was like, oh, that's hard. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, again, it goes back to I'm doing the best that I can to always highlight and showcase us, and it can be tough because, sometimes people just don't be with it. And I'm looking for it right now. Yeah, I mean, my Richard Pryor one did like 20K. Yeah, the Tyler Perry one did 238,000. The Maroons did like 25,000. And Tom Shepard, that did, Leon, when he posted it, that hit like 50, 60K. But, that was day 24. I did it for 24 days. I couldn't even finish it out. I don't even know or remember who were the last ones I was supposed to do, which is crazy to even say. But, we'll see. I haven't even decided if I'm going to do it this year yet. I don't know. I was supposed to do, I'm literally, as we on the joint, I'm looking for the list. Because I don't know what's wrong with my phone. It hasn't been able to let me kind of do searches. I did Joe Louis, Richard Pryor, Benjamin Bonica. I did a lot of the people, Marcus Garvey, So, Thurgood Marshall, the Million Man March, George Washington Carver, Tyler Perry, Oprah, Josephine Baker, Obama, Nelson Mandela, Dorothy Dandridge. I did a lot, man, but I just feel like, I don't want to say it didn't hit. It just, I don't know. I got caught up with my graduation. My graduation is at the end of February, so I got caught up. I think I did Huey Newton, but I never did it.
Yeah, we got a plan, for you to do the whole thing on something like downtime or something, man, because we need this, man. I think it's great for the culture, man. And I think sometimes when you're doing things that are advanced, like it takes a while for everybody to catch up, you know what I'm saying? And for them to be like, yo, this is dope. You know what I mean? Like, but schools, I'm in a school. I'm telling you right now, like schools are always looking for something for Black History Month, and educators are looking for something creative, something different for Black History Month for the kids. And I actually showed a teacher that I'm collaborating with for Black History Month stuff. Black Facts, and they were like blown away, man. They were like, "Yo, this is amazing! Like, this is dope." And not only is it dope, but we don't gotta do all the work. Like, it's already there. The pictures is there. The rhymes are there. the lyrics are on the screen. Like, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to see what I could do and make happen, man.
Yes, sir. So what I wanted to do is, go over just a few of them, if you don't mind, some of the ones that kind of stood out to me.
Absolutely.
And maybe we could both explain like our favorite part or our favorite thing about whatever the topic is. So you have something with Carter G. Woodson. So of course we got to start off with Carter G. Woodson, and I'll play it, and then we could just both say, I guess, our favorite thing about Carter G. Woodson.
Yeah, let's do it.
1 second.
Creator of Black History Month. The receiver of brash talk for decades. Why we gotta get the shortest month is the catchphrase for people's disdain. Not knowing if they climb Cypress, he'll show you why it was in his membrane. It's insane. Carter Woodson devoted drive. Quoted lines on how blacks were being told they weren't bona fide to be added to history with other noted guys. He mobilized a week within Fred Douglas' birthday to coincide with what was known inside of his noble pride, that blacks needed their own significant, poignant vibe. February just so happened to be that focused time. We complain and say our history's every day. I agree. Even when I see decay on display in petty ways, clearly Wayne's descendant via the Carter 3 will co-sign Carter G, the founder and the father of the 28-day modern glee. Who would have possibly advocated for our plea hourly? I doubt if we'd come together and collectively create a proper peace. So let's enjoy in honor of Mr. Woodson. R.I.P. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
You know what's interesting too? Like a lot of people don't even know who Carter G. Woodson is.
Of course they don't.
Man, it is fascinating, man. So what is your favorite thing about Carter G. Woodson?
I mean, I think right there in that space, right? Creating Black History Month. I think everything me saying, I was one of those people saying why we got to have the shortest month. Not knowing that a black man picked the shortest month, but not because it was the shortest month, because he wanted to honor Frederick Douglass. There was no Martin Luther King. There was no Malcolm X. There was no Harriet. Well, there was Harriet Tubman, but there wasn't anybody that made an impact in his era before him that he could figure it out for. So he chose February, and it just so happened that that's what it was. I feel like, it's important for us to honor these legends before we got here, because without them, where would we be as a society and as a people?
Absolutely. These are the people that pushed us forward, man. And one of my favorite things is just his vision, man. Like, like not having something, you all know about, you know about that, man, not having something in place and creating it and seeing that vision of like, yo, this is what I want for my people to have. Like, because, growing up, I didn't have this, and, I didn't know anything about this, and I knew what it did to my psychology, Right. He talks about the years that he had to undo, his education and everything. So, I think that's my favorite piece. Definitely him having a vision for us for the future that still exists today, Yeah,
I love it.
Yes, sir. All right, next one I want to play is one of my favorite books ever, Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison.
Man.
Fire.
Man.
Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. Nameless narrator, seen as invisible, educated caretaker of the dreams that he living through. Ghost written by Ralph Ellison, proud gentleman with a low profile regimen, but a style genuine. Breaking down the melanin, not seen by loud specimen, and 70 years later, it's now evident how prejudiced was the 50s when this was written. It took him 5 years for the fiction to be exquisite by the no-name 40-year-old black man with a mission, reminiscing about his life, having flashbacks and visions about how blacks progress by seeing whites as superior, create the mind as inferior inside his interior perspective. He traveled travels and experiences jealousy and hurt, which leads to him questioning his identity and worth. He's overlooked and not seen. The parallel is Ralph Ellison's the first black person to win the National Book Award for fiction with a plot theme, Barriers Broken, one of the greatest novels I'm happily quoting, asking, do we exist if the world doesn't actually notice us and our blackness? Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
Dope. Now, it sounds like you read The Invisible Man to me from those bars.
Yeah,
You know,
it was an incredible book. And I think Ralph, he was speaking for all black men at that time, not being seen. You know what I'm saying? That's a crazy concept. You know what I mean? Where if I say The Invisible Man now, people might be like, oh, is he in like the Avengers? Is he in a Marvel movie? My man was ahead of his time when he wrote something like this to discuss our plight in society and why we're not literally seen and why we're overlooked with everything we do. It's very powerful, man.
indeed, I've read it. I think I've read it more than 5 times. But
Wow.
yeah, yo, I didn't read it until like probably right after I graduated college, like right within those early years, and I felt like it was like it defined my experience, like how I felt. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, how could this guy perfectly put how we feel, and it's so artistically written, and it was just a beautiful, the dude has no name, he's not identified, at all in the book, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just fascinating, man. Like it makes you just think about the black experience as a black man, coming up in this country. And it's crazy how it's still relevant.
Yeah,
it's still relevant.
Still relevant to this day. And, that stands the test of time, That's what stands the test of time.
Indeed. All right. Next one I want to play is Harlem Renaissance. I know Harlem Renaissance is something that we, talk about like for Black History Month a lot. But for some reason, like I don't like it never like, I don't know, maybe it's the way that it was taught. I don't know, but I never really understood or remembered the Harlem Renaissance until like I started learning about it on my own. So
the Harlem Renaissance. About 2 miles from the bottom of the Bronx in the 1920s was the Harlem Renaissance. They had literature, fashion, theater, debutantes, music and dance, plus African-centered art. The new Negro movement was a safe vibration. Built from Jim Crow and the Great Migration, groups settling. Out in New York, true excellence. Music ran by Duke Ellington, Cool Melanin, Zora Neale Hurston, Langston Hughes penning and having our views evident, trying to remove prejudice. Jazz and big band were grand, exude elegance. Fashion had us in clean places, smooth etiquette, cloche hats. Josephine Baker was too delicate. Coat racks, pristine flavor, renewed decadence. Chesterfield jackets, zoot suits was prevalent. Religion took form from Old and New Testaments. Pan-Africanism, black pride articulated. They created a cosmopolitan of sophistication. New identity in the social conscious. Expanding the outlook for us was so symbolic. Know your knowledge. Our ancestors was dope. Happy Black History Month. Accepted as growth. Thank you.
I was blacking on that one. What? Holy moly.
Fire. And one of the things too, like I didn't know Harlem Renaissance was like a lot of the artists and these new creators were fleeing from the South, like, and coming from all these states in the South that lynching was crazy and racism was crazy, and this was the first time in their life where they had opportunity, and look how it changed the face of this country. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the power that came out of the Harlem Renaissance and even the after effects of it is outrageous. I think that, I don't want to say, I think jazz or big band was birthed out of that, and well, not birthed, but more prevalent out of that. I'm sure jazz was inspired after that. Like, it's just, man, that time was a time, and I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad that we can pull from it and learn from it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, man. The Harlem Renaissance, man. It's incredible.
Yes, sir. All right. Gordon Parks, I did not learn about. I have my boy, he's an abstract artist. Shout out to Osariton. He kept telling me like, yo, you gotta watch this documentary on Golden Parks. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. I'll look at that later, whatever, man. And then I kept just hearing his name for some reason during Black History Month. I'm like, all right, let me finally look at this. And I'm like, wow, like just, I'm gonna play this first, but people will understand what I'm talking about,
Gordon Parks, master of the photo arts, lived in the Minnesota parts, oversharp, took pictures of Joe Louis, devoted heart, American Gothic recreated with stoic spark, shot the airmen in Tuskegee with lethal style. Vogue hired him to photograph evening gowns, even though segregation didn't want people brown to be around, his stuff was too good to leave him out. Worked for Life magazine capturing many peers, a multitude of time capsules for 20 years. He wrote about 6 books, they were godly good. The first black major director in Hollywood, first Learning Tree, then Shaft. He started blaxploitation, then he blessed jazz. Piano player and a composer of orchestra strings. Created a ballet in '89 for Martin King. Oil painter, not shocked he did all these things. Shifted the landscape from what his portraits bring. There were so many other ideas he could do. Living history for capturing black people's view. Yes, he was a living dream come true. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
Man. What does Gordon Parks represent for you as an artist, man?
So Gordon Parks, my mother, man, she gave me his autobiography when I was like 12 or 13. And I remember reading his story. And, I was a kid reading about Gordon Parks. Reading about, him taking photos of, there was this gang member back in I forgot, it's been a while since I read the book, but he was a gang member in like the 30s or the 40s. Reading about him, he went overseas and met with this impoverished kid. I remember reading about this kid, him getting married, him being in time. Then him filming Shaft. Like, I remember that book vividly. That was one of my mother giving me that book to read, provided me with my love for autobiography books. Those are the only books I really read. I've read others, like obviously The Invisible Man. I've read obviously the Bible, and I have tons of comics and hip hop books, but I am a sucker for autobiographies because I want to know about people's story, their ups and downs, their love lives, how do they persevere, so him, Johnny Cochran, Steve Jobs, Dapper Dan, Rakim, I got all of their books in my room because I want to know how they were successful and how they maintained being successful. So yeah, it was a great book. Great man.
Yes, sir. And for anybody that doesn't have, if you're not going to look at his story, just, type in his pictures and just examine them, that at the time, like, I feel like, even like black people didn't have empathy for black people. But when you look at his pictures, it's like they tell so much of a story, and you kind of have this deeper level of understanding for that person in that picture. Like the gang member you talked about, when he's taking pictures of him, you don't see him as just a gang member. You don't, and he was one of the top gang members, around in that time. Nobody could get close to him, and Gordon Parks was able to chill with him for weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be around. Like, what type of person is like a gang member gonna be like, yo, you can roll up and take pictures and hang out with me? Like, that's crazy to me.
He took pictures of him at a shootout. Like, that was one of Gordon Parks. I don't know if you read his autobiography or anything, bro.
I haven't. I saw the documentary, but I definitely have to read the autobiography.
Yeah, he did. One of his most famous pictures that was in Time magazine was, I want to say homie's name was Red. He had a gun looking out the window, and he was literally about to shoot at a rival gang. He was there during the shootout, took pictures and everything. Like, that's, to me, like, it's like, what? And I always wanted to meet him. Like I figured and felt that Gordon Parks, you know, he's unbelievable, you know, and that's one of the men that I wish I could have met, you know, and I feel like I could have, because even though he was popular, he wasn't in the spotlight enough for people to kind of harass him from that perspective.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, man. That was dope. So next one I want to look into is Motown. I think that, you know, a lot of people don't understand how much of a lane Motown opened up for Black artists. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely, you know, explain that. So
Motown Records. Motown, mixing pop records with the soul sound. Berry Gordy brung the world the Detroit style. Let's dive into the profile. He met Smokey Robinson, put out records for the brown-skinned Metropolitan. Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, Miracles, and Marvelettes. Jackson 5 girl group with Diana Ross in them. Blind piano player and singer, he was fortunate. 110 top 10 hits, he had all of them. Moved the company to LA to get more of them. Made a movie imprint, Barry was going corporate. Passionate with the lens. Black classics, we got Last Dragon and then The Wiz. Billie Holiday biopic factored that in. They had an acronym for producers to make the music. The KISS principle meant keep it simple, stupid. 2648 West Grand Boulevard. That's the headquarters for when they were cooking songs. A black landmark in the city where people looked for jobs fixing under the hood of cars. They found Michael Jackson, marketed what's going on. Soundtrack for every season. They the reason that the weekends were delegated to cleaning. Every mother had the radio singing because we need it in our hearts. Black History Month.
110 top 10 hits. Like
that is outrageous. That is outrageous. I think to have that many hit records back to back, it called it Hitsville. You had to call it Hitsville because nothing but greatness came out of there. The Jackson 5, Diana Ross. And, you know, as I'm, you know, me doing the Black History facts, I'm learning more because, you know, some of it is like foundational learning about Motown. You know, of course I know about Motown Records. You know, a lot of people wanted to be signed there, right? But to know how many artists were actually there and how it happened and how they were writing, and that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? And I was happy to kind of cover that from that perspective.
Indeed, man. And, you know, without Motown, who knows what that would have done. That might have set, you know, Black artists back because before Motown, you know, they had to make the, you know, the white sounding records and, you know what I mean? There was no flavor in it. And then Motown just brought that out, you know?
Yeah.
And made us comfortable being us, man. You know?
They definitely did. I mean, I think, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you taught me a little bit, you know, during this whole thing. I did not know who Carl Kanai was. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I'm like, yo, I know I seen stuff on, you know, on artists before from him, but I just didn't know this was a Black dude. You know what I'm saying? So you put me on, man. So let's play that one.
Carl Kanai. Brooklyn designer from Costa Rica, made great looking attire for culture speakers, crafted, everlasting, better fashion, went to clubs in his fabric. Men were asking, can he replicate what he demonstrates? So he took orders from his car, made him elevate. American dream, can I do it? Can I build an empire? Can I prove it? Can I be the Ralph Lauren of the rap movement? Can I? His name was Carl, now the brand's an ally to hip hop. Whoa, Carl Kanai. He manifested his name by having a question proclaimed. Now baggy denim had a lane, collaborated with the culture to give him fame, started a trend that was insane. Integrate rap with fashion was ingrained. Pac was an ambassador, did a campaign. Biggie rapped about it as well as the Wu-Tang. Pioneer giving his people the flyest gear. Black Enterprise revered the company. By the year 96, they was the most successful Black firm in the world with nothing but Black people up in the mix. What a grip. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
Had no idea who this man was, man. So thank you for putting us on, man.
Yeah, I always wanted baggy. I always wanted Carl Kanai denim. I never got it. My father had it. He had Carl Kanai jeans. I never met him or never seen him, but I remember those clothes. When I posted this, he actually reshared it. He loved it. So
I got to reach out to him, man.
Yeah, you should. I mean, Carl Kanai, he was here before everybody. He was here before Fubu, Sean John. Like it was him. It was him. You know what I mean? So yeah.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Who would have known, man? That's why we need the black facts, man. All right. I want to go into Vanessa Williams, man. Let's get a young lady in here. I wasn't too familiar with Vanessa Williams either. I heard her name, but I didn't really know her story. So it was interesting listening to, her story.
Yeah. Okay. Vanessa Williams.
It seems being black is a felony for race. I'm about to break down for you jealousy and hate. Vanessa Williams, we know her as a singer and an actress, but in 1983, she was competing in a pageant. She was crowned. Yes, Miss America was black. The very first one. So incredible, in fact, when she went on press tours, it was heavy to attract all her people. So emotional to tell her what she meant. They were attached, but everybody didn't share the sentiment. Beauty in America should not have melanin. She got death threats just from being crowned winner. Hate mail telling her that she's just a brown nigga. Damn. She had to resign because the news that she took before the pageant. In her eyes, it was rude, and it was. Violated due to being gorgeous. Defeating countless counterparts proved to be distorted. Ooh, these people flawless. Penthouse magazine had her nudity exalted. She fled to obscurity. The movies started calling. Became a famous singer. Now her beauty isn't haunted. It truly is supported. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
Dope. So when did you learn about Vanessa Williams?
She's an actress and she was a singer. So I always knew that she was an actress and singer. I knew that she competed for Miss America, but I didn't know that she won. Just the same, I think Halle Berry might have won too. I'm not sure. But it was one of those things where it was like I was learning along the way. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing to learn about. Learning about her was incredible for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I only saw her in movies, and singing. She had a lot of great records. But then to see, where she actually came from and what she went through was crazy.
Indeed. And I at that time, I can't imagine the power in a little black girl seeing this on the screen and Miss America is black? Like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that within itself, I think is, extremely powerful. And these are the things that, we definitely need to know about,
Yeah.
We can't not talk about another great legendary person that people mimic, which is MJ, Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, come on now. We can't forget about Mike
Indeed.
Jack.
I think Mike has two different legacies, right? So I definitely want to touch on that. But let's get to it.
What's off the wall is Quincy Jones and MJ back to recording songs. Rolling Stone ain't want them on the cover at all. Fire fueled, created 30 songs, but 9 were used. It's time to move to a higher view. 7 of them were top 10s. Disco was dying, he refused to be boxed in. Thriller had Vincent Price doing the tune for him. Motown 25 debuted moonwalking. MTV was racially profiling. Jackson made movies out of video, show stopping. 32 million records sold by 84. Won 8 Grammys, met the president on a tour. Billie Jean Beat It, Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney. Pop icon, musical phenomenon, regarded as the best album made by music critics. Mike was a zombie and Thriller that's superstitious. People started fainting just from seeing him on the stage. Kids emulated all his moves. He garnered praise. White socks, white glove, glittery on his hand. Sold 70 million worldwide. He was the man and still is. Happy Black History Month.
There it is. So, as an artist yourself, man, what did MJ mean to you coming up?
Oh man. I mean, you gotta, come on. We all did the moves. We all did the kick. We all did the hee. We all tried the moonwalk. We all tried to glide on the linoleum in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? We all wanted the glove. We all wanted the fedora. Mike was everything to us. You know what I'm saying? I personally didn't care. He was turning whiter or whatever. He was still one of us. You know what I mean? And, Mike was, he is the pinnacle of excellence when it comes to music. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree. I know later on people were skeptical about, his character and accusations and all that. But, I think within all that, it doesn't defeat the idea of him as an artist and things that he was able to do as an artist, regardless of, what his life was like on the outside of that, but we still got to respect the artistry. All right. So we'll play another female, Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt. The most exciting woman in the world, neck full of pearls, heart full of gold. Yes, it's the best of the girls, born out of rape. Father white, all out of place. Carolina, North was the state. Harlem's the place that she moved to. Spoke 4 languages and sang in 11. Santa Baby made her a legend. Changed the perception of black queens that can act in a packed scene that people watched on the fat screen. Rebel with a cause was a group of kids trying to clean up what the ghetto couldn't solve. She was heavily involved. Got funding, had a nonprofit out in Watts, trying to help boys and girls that was starving on the blocks. Brrr. Catwoman was a black woman. Brrr. That footage had every man looking. Brrr. She made the first lady cry because she told the truth about Vietnam at the time, sending kids to a war to be shot then die. CIA had a dossier plot to provide. Tried to kill her career, went to Asia and London. Came back here to more fame triumphant. Broadway pillar that the world admits. Blueprint in her world, she left the earth a kit to follow. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
Man, by the way, we didn't even talk about the lyricism yet, man. She left the earth a kit to follow. Whoa.
Yo,
man,
I was wilding on this whole project. I'm going to keep it all the way tall. And you guys got to remember, I'm writing this the day of. I wasn't doing it in advance. I was finding somebody, researching really quickly, then writing it. So the different flows, sometimes metaphors is in there. Sometimes I'm just rhyming the same word all the way down. It just depended on how I was feeling that day. And, for me, that's powerful to write a rhyme, same day, recite it. You know what I mean? That's not easy, bruh. But back to Eartha Kitt. I mean, again, this is my first time seeing Eartha Kitt was watching my father watch Batman and seeing this black woman as Catwoman. And I was just like, that's crazy. Who is this woman? She mad hot. She mad. And then when I got older, I saw her in Boomerang. And I was like, oh, this is the shorty from the Batman joint. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Eartha Kitt. Rest in peace.
Indeed. It just, I feel bad, not playing Aretha Franklin if we're going to talk about Eartha Kitt, because it's like they go together. So we're going to do that one. And then we got one more. We'll wrap it up. And again, you got so many, we got to do this multiple times. I mean, we can't even do it one time. It's crazy.
Aretha Franklin. Her name was Aretha. Came in the game as a singer. Then she was labeled a diva. One of my favorite leaders, she gave us respect. Natural woman, she sang it the best. Activists putting her name on the set, and this actual footage, she stayed the protest. Using her voice, singing and standing is truly a choice. Amazing grace, she was proving the point. Born in Memphis, but she moved to Detroit. Hey Aretha, you the dopest though. Thank you, Jesus, for her vocal tone. Many people didn't know it though. She was the greatest singer out of Rolling Stone. Feminist with agendas that didn't use sexiness. Got the credit and viewed by the president. Medal of Freedom, Congressional Excellence. Hall of Famer, performing bangers. Gospel artist for her Lord and Savior. Diabetic while recording Flavor Free Way of Love. Check the alternator of the Cadillac and it's pan. Can you imagine that? What you think? Soundtrack for our civil rights. Touched millions and she did it right. Now she's singing up in heaven's light. We miss you. R.I.P.
That is crazy.
Happy Black History
Now,
Month, B. Thank you.
That is outrageous, B.
Yo, you killed that one. You killed that one.
Yo,
you killed that one.
that is crazy. I think what makes that one hit, so it's a vibe, you know what I mean? And obviously, learning about the songs she sang that would hit records and putting them into the bars, and just also everything that she did outside of singing. A lot of the activist stuff I didn't know about. I just knew she was a gospel singer that turned into a pop singer, right? So to know that, first of all, she has the greatest voice ever. Let's start there, right? And then to know that she was helping, the black man on the front lines in the civil rights movement. That was incredible for me to hear.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I found out later on too about her activism. I forget what documentary I was watching that highlighted that, but I was like, wow, I didn't even know Aretha Franklin was doing all this stuff, man. Along with being a musician and it's so powerful because sometimes like when we look at Black history, we don't think about the artists that funded the civil rights movement, right? Those that, you know what I'm saying, that put money out of their pockets to make sure that everybody was good. People was getting bailed out of jail and, you know, all type of, you know, things were happening along with that. Like it wasn't just the activists, but the people behind them, man. So that's important.
Yeah, nah, I mean, listen, shout out to Aretha, man. She, for real, man, she's a vibe. Greatest singer of all time, if you ask me. I don't think anybody's better. Closest is probably like Sam Cooke, Marvin Gaye. But she's number one. You're not topping her, B. You're not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we got to end off with definitely because it's 50 years of hip hop and everything. We got to end off with the BET. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let's end it off with BET.
E.T. Black entertainment television. What a concept. When TV stations had nothing but Johnny Carson and Dolly Parton, a man named Robert Johnson had dreams to make Hollywood shuffle like Robert Townsend. He had $15,000 for the growth. They only had music videos to promote, sitcom reruns while MTV was a joke. That station ran limited vids for colored folk. Then in 88, BET News with Ed Gordon. Can't forget Donnie Simpson. His essence was real important. Video Soul gave us a presence when they ignored us. It was the first controlled black television company on the market. Now put stock in that. Teen Summer was popping for a lot of cats. Rap City, Joe Clair, Big Les. I was watching that. What about Comic View? They promoted a lot of acts. Did a joint venture with Stars. Please believe me. It was like Ebony Magazine inside my TV. Black owned until 2001. Despite your feelings of what it turned to, you can't deny it inspired millions. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
Can't. B. I mean, listen. You know, things happen, man. You know, you can't. It's hard. It's hard. I think people fail to realize how hard it is to run a business, and you know, I don't want to ever fault them for making specific choices. You know, when it came to our stuff, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know, but at the end of the day, they did their best, and it's more than a lot of people can say that they did. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta hold them, you know, at a specific high regard because they tried. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't try and they did. You know what I mean? So shout out to them from that perspective.
Indeed. And, you know, not for nothing, but BET was a lot of our childhoods, man. I remember running home trying to see the Rap City freestyles, like, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to make it back in time for that. Or, you know what I mean? 6:00 knowing that 106 in Park coming on, like, you know, like, so a lot of stuff going on. BET was like, you know, like childhood, man, childhood memories, man.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that was our lives, man. Like I was a debut season 106 in Park kid. I was 18 years old. So yeah, I liked 106 in Park, but really my thing was Rap City, you know, BET hits on the street. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That was my thing, you know, Uncut, I guess you could say Uncut. Whenever I was up late, I wasn't up late all the time, so I didn't really get a chance to see it like everybody else did. But
man, we had a lot of family bonding, man. Chilling with my sister and my brother, watching Comic View, man, like late night, 10 p.m.
Crazy.
Yo.
Comic View. Me and my mother loved Comic View. That was another, you know, thank you for that. Like I forgot about Comic View. Like Comic View, so many people came from Comic View. Earthquake, some more.
Cat Williams
came from there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that it's just a beautiful space, man. Like, I'm glad that somebody took initiative to create something like that. It always starts that way, and then it blows up into something else.
Indeed, man. Like I said, I think you're doing historical things, man. Not just with Pendulum Ink, but the Black History Facts is just on point. Everything, man. I love your creativity with it. You know what I'm saying? I think the next step, designing curriculum around it and getting it off, man. You know what I'm saying? Making a vibe off of that, man. I know, like you mentioned, it's work, you know what I mean? Putting it together, man. But, like I said, we're using it in the school system right now, and I'm gonna share it with as many different people as possible. When people are asking me, you know, what got any ideas for Black History Month, I'm sending them the whole, you know what I mean? Black History with Facts. Just check it out.
Thank you. Thank you. Make sure y'all check it out. You know, I got to finish part 2. You know, we'll see if Mr. G can convince me to do part 3. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's a lot of work, but I got to try to get it done because I got to do that. I got to run the school and I got to break down this Lupe stuff. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know what my thoughts are. I think it is a lot of work to do for every day of the month, but I think getting like 10 in, you know what I mean? Getting 10 in, have a certain number of like, I want to hit 10 every year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that might be more doable than hitting 28. You know what I'm saying? Like,
last year I hit 24. I hit 24 last year. That's pretty good.
It is.
24. This year is 29. So it's a little rough. We'll see. Like I write fast. So if I could do it 6, 7 in the morning, do both videos and knock it out, and get them out 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, respectively, we should be okay. Let's see.
Yes, sir. I'm on standby, man. Man, Mickey FactZ, Mr. FactZ, I appreciate the work that you're doing, man. Pendulum Ink, Black History Facts. I got to get some Pendulum Ink gear. I got to get some gear.
Yeah, we got
and I got to send you some MasterMine gear still, man. I said that last time you was on, but I'm gonna send that over definitely. So maybe next interview I'll have on Pendulum Ink, and maybe you'll have on some MasterMine gear.
I'm with it. Let's figure it out, man. Let's make it work.
Indeed, man. Like I said, man, I appreciate the work you're doing. I'm following revolutionary work. And I think like what you've mentioned about just the importance of us, keeping our culture and being in the forefront of passing it on. I think that's super important because you did talk about the breakdancing happening in the Olympics this year. And I was looking at some of that and I ain't see too many of us. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't too many of us still breakdancing right now. So, some people might not, new school kids might not even know this came from Black folks. You know what I'm saying? So it's super important for us to stay, keep these things that are monumental to the culture. So like I said, I appreciate what you're doing and hopefully it inspires other people in their own lanes, to keep on and hold on to some of the things that came from us. So thank you, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. God bless.
Indeed, man. And of course, where can people find Pendulum Ink that are interested? I know it's not just for people that are in hip hop, with artists and things like that, but you're also providing things for kids as well, like high school kids and things like that. So where can they find it?
Yeah, pendulumink.com. If you're a student over 18 up to 65 years old, just reach out there. If you're looking to be a part of the Pen Pal Kids initiative that we're getting ready to launch, just send me a DM, Mickey.FactZ on Instagram, Mickey FactZ on Twitter, the official Mickey FactZ on Facebook. Just hit me up, man. I respond to anybody. Right.
There it is. See you again with Mickey FactZ next year. And of course, remember, your mind is the most powerful tool in the universe. If you can think it, you can do it. If you believe in it, you can be it. And if you fight for it, you can have it. The world is yours. This has been your host, Mr. G, and I will see you next time on MasterMine.
So every day I'm going hard. I'm talking business, bank accounts, and credit cards. And somehow we defeat the odds and making sure that no one starves illegal or you had a job.